Finisher? I hardly...
Don't do that same lame joke over again. But I only have one Mortal Kombat joke.
New year, same old shenanigans. What a noob, am I right? Hello, Champagne Dreamers. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I don't know how you found me, but stick around, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Champagne Dreamers. I would love to have you. My name is Janessa, and I am North Dakota's trash queen of glam, geek, and gore. And for this video, we're going to be geeking out over the end of the first year of MK1 and talking about what's coming up for MK2. They just released a trailer of the new story expansion, Khaos Reigns, that's coming, and some new characters, and we're going to talk about it. So if you're excited to get in and battle it out with some Mortal Kombat Year 2, then stick around because we're getting into it right now.
It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay. It's like you're my personal Illuminati. I know that some might say that I am just a bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna fight.
So let's talk about Mortal Kombat 1. I did a video when Mortal Kombat 1 was being released where I talked about my initial impressions, my initial review. You can find that video right here in case you missed it. And I talked about the characters that I like the most. Mileena, Kitana, still my main characters, although I have been branching out and playing a few others. I have been playing through some of the invasions, and I have some thoughts on that. And I'm really excited to see the new expansion that's coming out. It was released at some new game con. They had a trailer and they talked about it, and I'm excited for what's coming out. So one of the biggest things about MK1 that I didn't talk about in my initial review because it hadn't really started yet, that is invasions. I have sort of been enjoying the invasions, but I also have a lot of criticisms, especially as somebody who's not like a professional player. Like, I don't sit down and spend 40 hours a week playing Mortal Kombat. I'm just a casual. I'm a dirty casual, and so I just want to play who I want to play. So what I like about invasions is that they have been trying to add some new content in, so you're not just grinding out battle after battle after battle. That got a little old the first time that I played. I didn't play any of the Scorpion Invasion or any of the Natara Invasion. I started with the third one, which I think was Sub-Zero. And I liked all the new costumes. I thought that they were fun, but it was a lot of grinding, and it was a lot of, okay, what's going on? And then that boss battle where you had to know the, like, secret trick to hit the water bucket, or else he just killed you immediately. I don't like when they pull shit like that. I think it's kind of stupid. But I like that they have been putting in some new challenges, like those combo challenges. But along with that, I'm glad that they've also been making them optional, so that if you're like me, and you're not always very good at doing a specific combo or setting up combos, if you're kind of a button masher, you can just skip over those and move on to the next fight. Because I don't enjoy, especially those combo trials with the exploding robots, I haven't really enjoyed those. But I do like some of the character challenges, and then in the last season, the Reptile season, I did really enjoy, they did kind of those face-offs where you would have a character and you'd shoot a projectile. It was like a shootout, and it was whichever of you could fire it off first. I thought those were kind of fun. They were interesting. And you got to try some new characters, but that's one of the things that I don't like about some of the things that they've been adding to the invasions are, I just want to play the character that I want to play. I don't want to play, you know, this certain character for all the character challenges in this particular invasions. If I want to be Mileena, if I want to be Tanya, if I want to be Kitana, I don't want to then, in 3 different battles in one mesa, have to change over to Liu Kang. Because that's the thing, is they never do these character trials with the characters that I like. They did do a few with Tanya that were kind of interesting, but they always pick the usual, the boring, the Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, Raiden, blah, 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 Kung Lao, God. If there is a character that they could return to him getting his neck broke, it would be fucking Kung Lao. Get him out! So I just want to play who I want to play, but I have been enjoying the mesas. I have been enjoying all the costumes, and what I thought was interesting, because I agreed with a lot of people that the Mileena costumes, for the most part, were bullshit, because they were either that crazy, everybody said they were Havoc skins, they were like green and red and yellow, or they were like purple and teal. And I was like, where's the pink? Melina is known for like purple and pink. So give us some purple pink options. And then when they got to Reptile, they did a really good job with the skins, and then there were hardly any of them. So if you played through the invasions before, between the store and the invasion, you typically got 2 to 3 to 4 skins per character. And now you're lucky if there's one. And like you go into the store and there's maybe 6 characters that have skins that are available. So the skins are getting better, but there's just fewer of them. And it's like, girl, we know that these are just palette swaps. We know that these are not full skins that you're having to go in and redetail. And I get it that like the Reptile season, they did go in and add bonus touches like the Reptile skin, the different eyes. So they're putting more work into them, but it's still kind of just a palette swap. You're adding a few extra details. There's no reason why you couldn't do that to the whole roster. Make sure everybody gets at least one skin. And some of the licensed DLC characters, I understand why we're not getting seasonal skins for Homelander and those kind of characters, but why are Quan Chi and the other actual Mortal Kombat DC characters getting so few skins? I don't understand that. So I'm hoping Quan Chi has got a few, Ermac has got a few. I'm hoping we'll see some for Takeda. I don't really get it. I wish there was more. I just want more of the good stuff. And I want less of this, like, force you to play another character and try to do, like, these bullshit crazy combos that you have to be, like, a pro player to do. So that's kind of how I feel about Invasions. I still am generally enjoying them, but I definitely get frustrated at many points throughout the mesas. Now, in terms of the story itself, I did enjoy that the story ended the way that it did. I was really hoping for Onaga, but I can see, since they're really paying tribute to the 3D era characters and the 3D era storylines, that really is the first kind of lead up, is that Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, the Deadly Alliance, they come together, and then it raises Onaga. So now that they've announced part 2, which we're going to get to very soon, I'm glad that it doesn't seem like Onaga is going to be the main villain of this story expansion, because Onaga is a really cool final boss, and I would hate for that to be wasted on a story expansion rather than waiting till Mortal Kombat 2. Let's wait till we get the next game in this timeline, then let's have Onaga, and let's really kind of get into that and play with it and have a good time. So I'm excited that Onaga hasn't come out, and it looks like he's not coming out for the expansion. It looks like it's going to be Titan Havoc. So now let's get in and dig into this Year 2 trailer that we saw, Chaos Reigns. I am super excited for this. I'm excited for some of the characters that are coming. I'm a little surprised that we didn't get any evidence of Jade. I did my whole look in green today, specifically for Jade. I am such a Jade fan. I love Jade as a character. I think they're going to make her into the Melina of this game. Melina, where they waited till the very end of all the combat pack stuff to finally introduce her into the game. I think they're going to do that with Jade, which is a shame because I really like Jade. Now, the 3 characters that they did announce for story characters, Mortal Kombat characters, are Sector and Cyrax and Noob Saibot. I was very interested by that. I was very interested by how they portrayed Sector and Cyrax. I was very interested in the fact that they were not only both cyborgs, they were both female. So they gender swapped both Sector and Cyrax. So I'm interested to see what it is that they do with that, because the chin beards are going wild and I'm living for it. I am living for it. I'm here for it. I soothe myself and I feed myself on the tears of offended conservatives. I just do. So I love that they're like, it's too woke, and they're melting down. I love that they're both women of color. And I love that they're not like full cyborg. Because Frost in the last game, where she was like taking off her head and throwing it at people, that was a little bit too much. I love that they seem like they're still human with like cybernetic enhancements. And so I'm interested to see how that story plays out. And I'm also interested, I could have done without Noob Saibot. There's something about Noob Saibot that I just have never cared for. I don't really get it. I don't think they've ever tried to explain the name, because some of the name stuff doesn't really make sense. Because they've been doing some weird things with names through this game all along. Originally, Sub-Zero was Bihan, and then when he got killed and turned into Noob Saibot, it was his brother, but it was Kuai Liang. And I was like, I mean, maybe there's some nuance about names that I don't understand, but shouldn't they be like Bihan and Kwaihan or Biliang and Kwailiang? Like, why don't they have the same name? And then why, when he gets turned into a demon, does he become Noob Saibot, which is such a stupid name? And I get that it's just an anagram of Boone and Tobias, the creators. But I was like, but then how do you explain that? How do you turn that into the story? Other than just like, oh, I like my name, I'm gonna put it in the game. Like, it's so stupid. I don't understand this sort of weird fan worship of Ed Boon. I don't get it. I don't want it. What does that name signify? I don't get it. And I do like the character design of Noob Saibot. If they're going to bring him back, I liked the green and the extra elements that they did. I like that they still had the shadow that sort of separates from him and is part of his gameplay. I'm interested to see how that story shapes up. I would love it if Jade shows up in the story, even if she's not a playable character yet. I would love it if Jade at least shows up in the story. I'm here for it, but I'm interested in those characters, and of course I love Ghostface. I don't know how they're going to make that work. I'm interested to see the latter ending for Ghostface, because Ghostface is not one person. Every movie has had one or more Ghostfaces, you know, so how are they going to play off who this Ghostface is? Are they going to have times where it's a different person? Like, are there going to be different Ghostfaces? So I'm really excited to see how they kind of explain the Ghostface that they're bringing into this element. I could care less about Conan. I mean, a hot guy in a loincloth, I'm never going to be mad about that. So at least he's some eye candy. And then another fucking Terminator. The Terminator in the last game was the worst character. He was so clunky. He was so hard to use. He's so big, but then he's got weird little, like, T-Rex reach with his arms. It was terrible. I fucking hated that Terminator. I'm sure I'm going to hate this Terminator as well. So that I don't care as much about, but I am interested, and I'm interested to see if we get more characters, and do we get some characters with the launch of the story? Because I know that they said Combat Pack 2 is going to have Noob, Cyrex, and Sector, and they are going to be available at the launch of the expansion, so maybe those are just the story characters that we get. But I would love it if there were also characters that just kind of became available right away. That's maybe hoping for too much, but I want some Jade. Please just give me some Jade. But I do enjoy that we're getting more female representation. I'm glad. I love a good gender swap. I don't mind it at all. A lot of these Lin Kuei soldiers are just kind of interchangeable. They always show them in the background, so why not have two women come back as Sector and Cyrax? People who want the classics are available in the cameo system. So you can play the classic Sector and the classic Cyrax as cameos. So they're already there. So I like that they gave us something different. If they're going to give us two characters that we've already got in the cameo system, give us different versions. You know, I hope they do something interesting with Sonya and Jax if they bring them in. I have a feeling that they're going to leave Sonya and Jax until the next game. I think that Sonya and Jax and the Outworld Investigation Agency, it seems like that's just starting up. A lot of the tower endings referred to that. So I think that that's going to be part of the second game. I think Onaga is going to come out in the second game. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they do to continue the story, because I have been liking it. I've been liking the way that they have been building on this established mythology, but making it different. So in terms of the new expansion, it seems like the boss is going to be this Titan Havoc, and it seems like he's got the Kami Dogu and they're in his chest or whatever. I am so fucking sick of multiverses. I'm so tired of them. They're so played out. They're being used by everybody as just a way to bypass and explain and complicate everything. And it doesn't even really make sense, because the real idea of where a multiverse idea comes from is that, like, if you're making a choice, I can choose that when I'm going to work, I can either stop for a coffee or go to work. So that choice causes time to branch. Well, they're creating worlds where, like, suddenly Captain America is Russian and all this kind of stuff. That's doesn't really make sense with a multiverse, because those choices that are creating these multiversal paths aren't going to be that wild. Or, like, suddenly people will have wings, or they'll be owl people or whatever. And it's like people are just using it to explain whatever they want. They just want to create what they want to create. And they just say, well, it's a multiverse. It's a different world. It's a different universe. So it gets tiring, it gets old. All of these combined characters where, like, on the pyramid there was the Sonya, but she had Kano's eye. Like, how do you explain that? Because, like, a multiverse, if it's about different choices and different options, how do two characters become, like, melded together? And that's what they've been doing. So they've been doing all these, like, secret fights, and if you get ambushed in invasions, it's all of these, like, combined characters. And sure, some of them are cool, although I don't know why you can't brutality them or fatality them. That's rude, because you lose points for that, and I think you should get the points and experience as if you had done a fatality, since they won't allow you to, but that's separate. So I'm just tired of all this multiverse stuff. Now, when they use it to explain a gender swap, that's the thing, those chin beards, they can imagine a world where there's, like, multiple Earth realms and Order realms and Outworld and Nether realm and all these things, but, like, the fact that women exist is like, oh, they don't know what to do, or, like, queer people, ah! Like, bigots have such a weird limit to their imagination. Like, I can imagine dragons and spaceships and, oh, but black people exist? That's crazy, you've just gone woke! And it's like, what? What? Like, somehow black people are more mythical to you than dragons? I'd like to go inside your mind, but I'm afraid I'd get lost and die of loneliness. So overall, I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't feel like this story, I don't feel like this experience has been as engrossing to me as MK11. I like MK11 better. Now, I do have to say, I hadn't picked up MK11 when it first came out, so I picked it up right around the time that final bunch of characters where Melina was being released. So I didn't have to wait for Melina. I didn't have that experience. So maybe my experience with MK1 is more similar to what people had if they picked up MK11 right at the beginning. But I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't feel as engrossing. It doesn't feel as good. The, like, invasions and that stuff doesn't feel as good as the Towers of Time that we had in Mortal Kombat 11. And I do think that the artwork and the stages are beautiful. They've been really working on those character designs. I don't know if you've noticed, some of the gentlemen in this game are real Smoke shows. Like, Smoke as a character, I can't stand him, but he takes off his mask, and I'm like, hello, sir. How are you? So I like that they're starting to get some attractive character designs, and I just think it looks really beautiful and very smooth. It doesn't have that sort of cartoonish look that some of the MK11, they're a little bit too rounded, a little bit too something that still makes them look kind of fake. This looks much more realistic. It's very beautiful. It's very smooth, dynamic. I love it. I love the representation. Now, I think Tanya and Melina, they could be a little bit more explicit. They already cut out Kunjin, is that his name? I forget his name. I'll put him up on the screen, where he was sort of canonically gay but didn't have any relationship, of course. And now Tanya and Melina are in a relationship, but they really kind of kept it more just to little bits of dialogue. You don't see them together very much. So the queer representation could be a little bit more on the surface, but I love what they're doing. I love that they're creating a real world. They're creating a world where people have relationships and they have complications and things like that. So I really do enjoy it. So I'm excited to see what they keep doing. I think that it's been a little bit predictable, but there have been enough shakeups to kind of keep me guessing, keep me wondering where they're going to go next. So I have been enjoying Mortal Kombat Year 1, and I love that there's lots of female representation. Check out this video right here if you want to hear me rank my favorite female characters in Mortal Kombat. So I'm here for it. I'm excited. I still don't think it has quite surpassed the level of how I feel about Mortal Kombat 11, but I have been enjoying it. That is the video. Let me know down below what you think. Do you enjoy Mortal Kombat 11? Have you been loving it? Have you been hating it? Are you one of those chin beards? You want to leave me some rage down in the comments? You go right ahead, baby. You just leave me that comment. And you know what? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you hate it, if you're one of those chin beards, after you give me that comment, go ahead and give me a thumbs down to let me know how much you hate it. Guess what? It's all engagement. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch, and neither am I. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified of all future uploads. I have really been working to make sure I give you a good mix of glam, geek, and gore on this channel. So definitely hit that bell so you'll be notified of all uploads so you can catch your favorite things. Check my community tabs for polls and other questions about content and upcoming videos. And I try really hard to make sure you have at least one video a week, and sometimes you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, fatality-tastic! If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down in the description box below, including a link to my website, The World of Champagne, at JanessaJ.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. I have really been trying to work to make sure I have a good balance of glam, geek, and gore on this channel, and I feel like geek sometimes gets neglected. So I'm glad that you're here to geek out with me about Mortal Kombat 1 and what's coming in year 2. And until I see you again, bye.
Oh, aren't you? Oh, look at her. Oh. Blow up doll face. Blow up doll face. See, those are more like pretties, but a lot of times you go...
I do what?
You open your mouth more and go, oh. You like to do blow up doll face.
There we go. Got some options.
Options.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero into brothers. They kept their names, Bi-Han and Kuai Liang. Although Kuai Liang... Okay, no. Wait a minute.
So this is... What is this game?
Mortal Kombat 1.
How many Mortal Kombats are there, though?
So this is the 12th game.
How do they establish story? It's just a fighting game, right? Or is it...
So there's a game... There's a story element that you play
just
through.
fought.
No.
Are there just the arcade version of Mortal Kombat? That's just the
So the
fighting
gameplay is a fighting game, so you just fight battles. But they have cutscenes and they build it into like a story.
But that's on the at-home consoles.
Yeah.
I think I'm only familiar with the arcade.
I mean, they have
Kombat.
story in the arcade ones too, because like if you win, you hear the story of what happens.
Oh.
And so it like builds on that, but now you actually see the story play out.
Interesting. I never knew that. I just knew it as a fighting game and different characters. Oh, I need to shave my legs. Harry.
You just leave me that comment because you know what? Oh, no, I got into that too early. You just go ahead and leave me that comment, and you know what? If you like this video,